I've done it again. It was 2023. So there it is. The unambiguous, a priori, perfect voting system for binary elections. Yes, we will still... There it is. A simple deletion. I didn't see it. Blink and you'll miss it. But you didn't blink. And you didn't miss it. On one hand, this isn't as much of a scandal as Rhinogate. There was no trickery afoot here. I won't say it was truthful, but this really was an honest mistake. On the other hand, at the end of the day, there's still an error in my video. I did not mean for it to be there, but it is still my fault, for all purposes, if not intents. Had I put in a little more effort, had I had a higher level of quality control, I wouldn't even need to address errors like this. Nonetheless, this was 2 sentences of over 12 minutes, 1 letter of 8 and 1 word of 3 and 1 order of 4 and 1 image of over 1,000. Maybe this seems trivial to you. No one can be expected to be perfect after all. And I'm tempted to agree. But of course, this is not the whole story. It was 2023. Do with this what you will. This video was released at 11:30 p.m. on March 31st. A pedant might argue that I set myself up for failure, allowing a mere half hour to finish Voting Systems Part 2. Needless to say, the deadline referred to April, not Mar. I don't see any reason why I would have waited to release the video on April 1st, as my Omen always used to say when he locked out early to head home to his rat wife and rat kids.
It's midnight somewhere.
So I had until April 30th. Days gave way to weeks, and it became increasingly clear that I would not finish the video in time. Eventually, April was over, and I was the fool. When I made the promise, I expected and intended to finish the video on time. But, still, I was at a crossroads. I would follow my word, put in the work, and get it done. Or I would, time and time again, allow my day-to-day to get in the way of my self-imposed obligation until I reached the point of no return. And unencumbered by an consequence, I lied, in ways the other of my omnipotent untied. Now if the ost on mere confidence, my pride, I'll pay the price. Right out of the rhinoceros gate, I tripped up. I was supposed to be walking on eggshells, yet I ended up with egg on my face. Immediately after confessing to having deceived you, I did it again. The very first commitment I made, I reneged on. Worst of all, I promised, explicitly, that there would be no lies in the next video. And there it was, a blatant misspelling. I forgot a letter. I was 4 days late. Individually, perhaps, these are molehills, but together they make a mountain of deceit. But the most recent immersion in the volcanic are of lies formed by the subduction of my ancien under a blithe disregard for the truth. It is easy to sit here and tell you what I have done. What is harder is to internalize the lessons I'm supposed to have learned. How many times will I make the same mistakes, turn around and say that I wasn't myself? How many times will I shamefully state, would you look at that, I've outdone myself? How much longer, and I say I was wrong, as if I'm somehow above myself, and consider myself who I'd want to be, when the reality is I'm someone else. As my Omen always used to say to his rat wife and rat kids,
Self-improvement is not an interminable quest for faultlessness, but a gradual meeting of the actual and the ideal, ending in the satisfaction that one is who one wishes to be, a goal that can only be known upon its achievement.
I lie. Still, I try. Maybe that's enough.
You can't see me, my time is now. In case you forgot or fell off, I'm still hot, knock your